The entire world is going to watch. We are going to bring down Keir Starmer and his tyrant government. That's what we're going to do.
Tommy Robinson clashes with Keir Starmer on national TV. Crowd left stunned. You're not going to believe what just happened on live television. This wasn't a quiet debate. This wasn't just another political exchange. No, this was a full-blown confrontation that left the audience shocked, commentators scrambling, and the political world asking, how much longer can Keir Starmer keep control of the narrative? Picture this. A packed TV studio. Cameras rolling. The Labour leader Keir Starmer sitting across from one of his most vocal critics, Tommy Robinson. For years, Robinson has been known as a firebrand, someone who thrives in heated exchanges. But this time was different. The moment the questions began, the air changed. Robinson leaned forward, his tone sharp, his words pointed, pressing Starmer on issues the Labour Party would rather not have dragged into the spotlight. Immigration, free speech, law and order. Topics that cut deep into Britain's most heated debates right now. And what stunned the crowd wasn't just the questions. It was the way Starmer responded or failed to respond. At one point, Robinson challenged him directly. Why should the British public believe you care about their freedoms when your own party has supported laws that silence people like me? The studio gasped. The tension was so thick, you could feel it through the screen. Starmer tried to pivot, to bring the conversation back to safer ground, talking about unity, inclusivity, and Labour's long-term vision for Britain. But Robinson didn't let go. He doubled down, hammering point after point, while the live audience reacted with murmurs, gasps, and scattered applause. This wasn't just a clash of personalities. It was a clash of two very different political worlds, one built on polished party politics, the other built on raw anger and outsider energy. And here's the thing, whether you agree with Robinson or not, you couldn't ignore the impact. Journalists covering the debate immediately lit up social media. One commentator tweeted, "That exchange just changed the whole tone of this campaign." Starmer looked rattled. Another wrote, "Say what you want about Robinson, but tonight, he controlled the room." Even political insiders admitted it was a turning point. One Labour source, speaking anonymously to a UK outlet, said, "That was the most uncomfortable I've ever seen Keir on camera. He didn't lose the argument, but he definitely lost the room." Now, let's step back. Why does this matter? Because Britain right now is on edge. People are frustrated about the cost of living. They're worried about migration. They feel their voices aren't being heard in Westminster. And when someone like Robinson brings that frustration directly into a national TV debate, it resonates. Not because everyone agrees with him. Far from it. But because he says the things many believe politicians avoid. And that's where Starmer's problem lies. He's positioning himself as the safe pair of hands to lead Britain after years of turmoil. Professional. A steady alternative to chaos. But safe can sometimes come across as weak, especially when faced with someone who thrives on disruption. The public reaction has been split down the middle. Supporters of Robinson flooded social media with clips of the confrontation, writing things like, "Finally, someone's holding Starmer accountable," and "This is why the establishment hates Robinson, he asks what the people want to know." Meanwhile, Labour loyalists hit back, arguing that Robinson's tactics were aggressive, unproductive, and designed to inflame rather than inform. One Labour MP tweeted, "This is not debate. This is theatre. Britain deserves better." But here's the uncomfortable truth for Starmer. In politics, theatre matters. Television moments stick. The public doesn't always remember policy details, but they remember the time a politician looked cornered on live TV. They remember when the audience gasped. They remember when someone stood up to the establishment. Think back to history. Margaret Thatcher's crushing exchanges in the Commons. Tony Blair's charm under pressure. Boris Johnson's ability to spin chaos into charisma. These weren't just debates, they were performances that shaped how the public saw their leaders. And now, this clash may be remembered as one of those moments. Some commentators are even asking whether this debate will shift polling numbers. While it's too soon to tell, political analysts agree, Starmer cannot afford too many moments like this. The more he looks like the establishment being put on trial, the more his opponents gain ground. And this isn't just about Robinson. Other voices from Reform UK to independent campaigners are watching closely. If they see that challenging Starmer on live TV can rattle him, expect more confrontations ahead. So where does this leave Britain? The audience that night left stunned, some clapping Robinson, others shaking their heads in disbelief. But the takeaway was clear: Starmer may be leading in the polls, but on the stage of public opinion, he is far from untouchable. The question now is simple. What happens next? Does Starmer sharpen his debating skills and prepare for more direct challenges? Or does he try to avoid these fiery showdowns altogether, sticking to safer, scripted appearances? Either way, this confrontation will be replayed, shared, and dissected for weeks. And the fact that one fiery exchange can dominate the headlines tells us something powerful about the state of UK politics right now. It's not just about policy anymore. It's about performance, about who controls the narrative, about who can stand tall when the spotlight burns hottest. And on that night, in that studio, Tommy Robinson walked away with something Keir Starmer desperately wanted the moment. So as Britain edges closer to another defining election, remember this: sometimes the battle isn't won in Parliament or even at the ballot box. Sometimes it's won in a single television exchange that captures the public's imagination. And if this is just the beginning, how much deeper does it go?